Hey everyone, hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So if you did not know, every single day I give a trade recap webinar with the TradeBuddy members, just breaking down the trades that I did and also breaking down the best stocks of the day and how to trade them. So we had a really good lesson on FRAN today. If you don't know about FRAN, it went from low of 523 and right now hitting a high of 1235. So really big move today, really volatile and lots of profit potential. So I did not trade FRAN today at all. I traded CANF instead. I'm not going to cover that in this video though. But after I recapped my trade on CANF, I did a whole breakdown of FRAN, the best ways to trade it, the levels of support, resistance, how to find them, and everything in between. And I think it was a really good lesson, so I want to share it with all of you too, just so you can kind of see what goes on every single day within the TradeBuddy community during our recap webinars. So with that being said, I'm going to play the clip of that webinar after this. It's like 15 minutes or long, something like that. So just watch the content, no strings attached. I think you'll learn some really cool things. I didn't trade it at all, so I would just make sure that you understand that this is from like a view of someone who did not trade it. As we spoke about in pre-market, one thing I was kind of using just to dictate how far this could pull back is number one, of course, having the levels marked off on the daily chart, right? And we talked about this in pre-market too. We had quite a few levels. And, we had support at around 640, around 750s, around the 830 area, which was tested quite a few times. And that's kind of notable because this is the one that actually held. So it's kind of a thing where if you see one level of support that's tested multiple times, I can see here once, twice, all in this area here, it's kind of tested. That has a higher chance of being the one that the stock respects. It's not guaranteed, but it's a higher chance that the level that's being tested more often is going to be the one that everyone else notices too, because it's easier to see. And it was actually tested here too. So that one's going to have a higher chance of being the one that is actually respected. So, of course, the main thing I was saying in pre-market is that I don't want to trade this right out the gates, right? Even if it has a breakout, the only way I would want to jump into this is if it has a breakout, has a pullback, and then holds previous resistance as support. I don't want to just buy a breakout because it could very easily become a fake out like it did today. So if you need the lesson on buying breakouts, there's your lesson. Don't do it. That's basically it. The main thing I was kind of using just to dictate, how far this could pull back is using the Fibonacci tool. This is a very basic tool that lots of people use, and it's kind of useful to use mainly just when a stock moves straight up and you kind of need to have some sort of basis on, how far could this realistically pull back. So basically to use it, you just click on the very bottom, drag it to the very top, and generally, not always, because it didn't really work here. And actually, let me move this up to that fake out that happened too, because maybe that'll include it. Yeah, it does. So make sure that you have it at the very bottom price up to the very top price. And generally what we see happen with the Fibonacci tool is that usually the stock will want to pull back like between this mark here and here, usually somewhere in between this overall area between 38.2 and 61.8 is it's going to want to find some support in there. And then of course, because we have the levels from the daily chart and we knew that there was a level right, at 832, you could kind of use that idea saying, okay, well, number one, the Fibonacci says that it has to pull back like down to the 38% mark. Number two, we have a daily chart level at 832. Maybe this one will be the one that has a higher chance of holding, right? And you can see that overall, we had this first pullback here that bounced off it very nicely. Probably what you should do is once you notice like this one bounce off it very nicely, you can say, okay, it seems like it is using that 832 level as a level of support. I will leave orders down very close to that 832 level just to have a perfect entry. And then if it breaks 832, I'll stop out, like say the break underneath $8. So say you get in 840, you risk the break of $8. That's risking 0.5%, or not 0.5%, 5%. And you know that your profit, the potential is at least, if you just drag a tool from 840s up to $10, your least potential profit is 18%. So if you're risking, about 5%, and your profit potential is 18%, that's a good trade right off the bat. Number two, because this is the first green day on news with a low float, and because this level of support is underneath the VWAP, we know that that could easily trap shorts, right? This is all just trapping shorts right here. All this area is just trapping shorts who believe that this stock is going to be breaking down, because right here, like it did look pretty weak, right? We have the huge fake out, lower highs under VWAP. It looked like it was going to break down, but the support is still there. And that's kind of the overall thing. So knowing that it could trap shorts very easily, you know that it has a very good chance to break even higher. So now, like the profit, the potential is even higher too. So you're risking 5-6% and you can make more than 20%. That's a really good trade. And that's really how you have to think about trading, right? Don't worry so much about how much are you going to lose, but plan your trade in such a way where you can look at the numbers and just understand that, okay, if I take this trade, I could potentially make 20-25% plus. Is it worthwhile for me to take this trade? Does it make sense? Like based on the things you know of trading, does it make sense to take this trade? Is it a low float? Is it the first green day on news? Is it trapping shorts? Does it have a lot of volume? And if all those things kind of line up and it has a really good daily chart like FRAN does, then you just have to kind of have that, like the conviction to say, yeah, it's a good trade. I'm going to hop into it. And that's really how you have to think of trading. You can't always think about, man, if I take this trade, I'm like wrong, I'm going to lose 5%. I don't want to lose 5%, so let me just wait until the breakout happens and let me just buy the breakout. End of the day, when it comes to trading, you have to understand that no matter what, there is a risk of loss. There's no way ever that you will never take a loss. It just happens. But as long as you plan your trades ahead of time and you know exactly where you want to stop out and you know exactly where you want to lock in your profits and you understand like the probabilities like of your strategy, then you can rationalize that, yeah, it is worth it, like for me to take this trade, even if there is a loss potential. We have like a greater profit potential, and that's the name of the game. All right, so I hope that you guys found that lesson valuable. I'm assuming that if you stuck around till now, you did. If you want to find out more about TradeBuddy University, it's a program that myself and my partner run. It's basically just a community of traders all helping everyone out on trading. I personally have developed a course in there, and I also do 2 live webinars per day, every single day, one in pre-market and one after market closes, just breaking down everything about trading. So it's not just a course, it's an entire mentorship with a community attached to it, so you can find other people who are also traders and grow together. That's really the main thing. In my opinion, courses don't work because all they answer are the basics. You really need to have that constant support from a mentor like me, and also a community of other traders who are also going through the same steps that you're going through. It's really the only way to learn. So if you want to find out more about it, there's a 14-day trial down below. It's going to be the first link. Check it out. If you have any questions about it, just send me an email at tony@tradebuddy.net. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this whole thing. I do appreciate it. If you liked the video, please subscribe. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.